Okay, so we were talking about how the Tzaddikim revered the Noam Elimelech. We were in the middle of telling the story when we ran out of memory on the camera of how the Yitzchak Moshe almost met the Noam Elimelech. The Noam Elimelech asked many times and sent Hasidim always, please send me the Rav from Shineveh at the time. Later it was the Rav in Uel, but at the time it was the Rav in Shineveh when he was still in Misnagid. And he said, I could see that the Rav from Shineveh is a very holy soul, the Yitzchak Moshe, Rebbe Moshe Teitelbaum. And he said, you have to send him to me. He wouldn't go because he was in Misnagid at the time. He didn't want to go away from the tradition that he had from his ancestors. Eventually, he managed to get him to come. He was on his way to go to a bris to meet him. Talmud Chacham came to him and said, this is not covered Torah for a big Rav like you to go to this Hasidic Rebbe. It's not. And so, after a while, the Talmud Chacham convinced him, and it wasn't. And he said later on, after he became a Chassid, he realized he didn't know who was his Talmud Chacham. He said it was probably that it was the Baldover coming in the clothing of Talmud Chacham. It wasn't really wasn't real. It was Satan coming in this form to prevent him from meeting the Rebbe Melech. The Rebbe Melech had said that if he had ever met the Yitzchak Moshe, he would have made a favor for him and for his family till the end of time. And so there were three things that Yitzchak Moshe said that he regretted in his life, and one of them was he never went to the holy Rebbe Melech. Samarov on his deathbed, he said, you know, I'm thinking, you know, if only my Alta Zayda, the Yitzchak Moshe, had gone to the Rebbe Melech, maybe I would also have been saved. That's what he said in his humility. There was a story also that Lizensk from Drabish, when he was 9 years old, he was the only son of the Yitzchak Moshe. He was very sick, and they told he was about to die, and the Yitzchak Moshe sent some shluchim to the kever of the Noam Elimelech. They said that whoever can bring us to the soul, they went to the cemetery, said that whoever will bring us to the soul of Rebbe Melech will give a penny in their memory and have him pray for Lizensk from Drabish. A lot of souls came because it's a big deal for a soul even to give a penny to Tzaddikim. And they looked at the clock, and at the exact same time, Lizensk, when they prayed by the kever of the Rebbe Melech, Lizensk from Drabish was healed, and he saw a vision. He said, I'm not going to be sick anymore, because he saw in his dream a vision of the Rebbe Melech came to him and said, you're not going to be sick anymore. I remember about L'chaim Tovim, I heard from the great, one of the Gedolim of today, the great Mashgiach from Torah Vadas, the Rav from Emunah Yisrael, Rav Moshe Wolfson Shlita, should be well for a long time. He said that the Chavetz Chaim said that in our generations it's impossible to do tshuva, to return to God, without the Rebbe Melech. That's something even by the Chavetz Chaim, who was known that the Chavetz Chaim had tremendous respect for the Hasidim. Even though he himself was not Hasidic, but he had tremendous respect for the Hasidim. And he had certain customs that were very similar, but like the Hasidim, he held that the Chavetz Chaim held that everyone should keep their beard, and the Chavetz Chaim went to the mikveh every day, including Shabbos. Another thing, Noam Elimelech, like we mentioned before, the Biala Rebbe had tremendous respect. Many of the Chassidis that we have today, they come from the Rebbe Melaveh. He wrote the Tefillah Kodim L'Tefillah, reason, prayer before praying, the different versions. The Biala have a different version than is in most Sidurim. Anyway, the prayer before praying, why did he write this? Because the Rebbe Melech noticed a lot of people weren't concentrating in davening, so he wanted to change the Siddur to make it shorter. Chassidim said that they saw a few tall guys coming, and they spoke to him for a while, and they left. And they asked, who's this? He said, this was the Anshe Knesset Gedolah. The Anshe Knesset Gedolah were the last prophets of the Bible and the first rabbis of the Mishnah. That was the intermediate time when the Second Temple was first built. And they are the ones who wrote the Siddur that we have, and they told him not to change the Siddur, not to make it shorter. But if you want to help people concentrate on prayer, you should write a prayer before praying. And you see, this is just a sweet, wonderful prayer. It answers whatever we're looking for. And actually, we mentioned before, the Biala Rebbe, the Kolakowski, he wrote an introduction to the Tefillah Kodim Tefillah when he printed the version that he had as a tradition, which is longer than the standard version. And he said that it's called Tefillas Tzaddikim. We did shiurim on this mimer a few years ago. We have it on tape. I think you can download it still on the internet. I think it might still be there from the website. The also very famous is the Zettel Cotton, and I saw in here, why is it called the Zettel Cotton? There's a wonderful translation of pieces from Noam Elimelech, and let me see where we're holding. All right.